All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Kim McVicker podcast. Today, my guest is.
Saul Trujillo.
Yeah. And what do you do? I know what you do.
You're
It's
like, hey,
so
what do you
weird.
do? No, I'm a comedian, man. Yeah, just
What?
make stupid jokes at night and sleep all day.
Oh, wow. Do you really sleep in a lot? Is that what you do?
Yeah. Like I guess my sleeping pattern's all messed up. Like yesterday, I slept 2 hours and went to Disneyland, and today I slept 11 hours and woke up to write. So it's like all. It's pretty
Are you a
consistent in
morning
that
writer
aspect.
or a nighttime writer?
I am a get up at like 11, have a cup of coffee, probably start writing around noon
Okay.
guy.
Do you try to
Yeah.
write every day, though?
I try. I mean, whether or not I accomplish it, but I definitely try. I hate like 80% of the stuff that I write.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
crumble it up, throw it in the garbage, and then the garbage bin's full of like crumbled up paper. I'm that guy.
So you write by hand, like you write.
I try, and then I'll write by hand, realize it's not working, get on my laptop, start on my laptop, and then I go back and forth. I can't stick. I have such, I don't know if it's ADD, but I have like whatever works that day, whether it's hieroglyphics or like, whether it's typing it out. I try to do anything and everything that I can to write.
That's good. I always get sidetracked by murder shows. Like
Yeah.
copywriting, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, but there's a new. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's like
it's a
YouTube is like my reels.
crazy.
Instagram reels is my complete poison right now. I get sidetracked by that because it's as easy as just like, oh, a puppy playing basketball. It's just
Oh, I post in Ghost. That's my. I'm like, It's full
you
TV shows that I like. Yeah.
okay. You just like full. You can watch an entire TV show without being disturbed or figure wanting to know what's going on like social media.
Oh, I don't care about what's going on in the world at all. I know zero things about that. But I will play a video game on my phone while I watch TV if I get bored.
Oh, okay. So you're doing something. You're doing
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something like Bejeweled or something. I don't know what you're playing.
I'm actually at
Okay.
one point was the best Bejeweled record in the world. That is not a
Get
lie.
out of
That's
here.
not a not a flex that I should ever tell people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a bad habit of
No,
games.
I feel like you're pretty normal. I feel like I don't know if it's ADD, but this generation of not being able to focus on one thing.
Yeah, I
Big
definitely feel that.
multitasker I am.
That's what my mom would call it. She would say you can't multitask. So I think it's just a generational swing on changing the verbiage.
Okay, it's
Maybe
as
I don't know.
opposed to just like not somebody who's just not paying attention at all.
Like my family talks over top of each other, and then my mom would say that that's multitasking. It's not rude. It's you got to listen and speak at the same time. Like that's just get on
Yeah,
board.
as long as they're not trying to record it for anything, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just dinner, whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just fun.
comics are the worst, especially when they're like when you're gonna do a podcast with someone and you have nice little like a conversation beforehand. You're like, oh no, let's save it for the podcast. I was like, we can't just have a nice interaction.
Yeah, that is a big comic thing too now, where it's like everything's got to be filmed or like how do you feel about posting clips and like all of that side of comedy?
I hate it, but I have to do it. It's a necessity of our job, especially if you want to put butts in seats.
hmm Do you feel like you do? Do you just do stand up clips, or do you do like this is the day of the life of me? Like some
Yeah,
people.
I have to do this as the day of the life. I'll do a mix of like I'll do maybe two stand-up clips a week, and then maybe like something a little series I call Walk with Me, where I'm like I try to get as many steps as I can per day, and I'll like all right, I'm gonna do a walk with me in San Francisco and show everybody like my walk in San Francisco. Like yesterday, I went to Disneyland, so I showed everyone my dumb trip to Disneyland because we walked a whole bunch that day. But
Do you
it's
clip it together? Like, is that a lot of editing?
yeah, it's a lot of editing, but it's on my phone, and I'm already on my phone, so if I'm already here, I might as well just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be better about that. Oh well.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
It's
For
just
your
be
own
pictures
sanity,
of
you
me
don't.
sleeping at the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, people do that. People
Yeah.
do that.
Look, I'm at the airport again. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want a 9 to 5, but I could definitely watch someone work an entire 9 to 5 shift just 1 minute at a time.
Fair. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a line cook flipping pancakes. I could watch that for hours, a minute at a time.
I agree. It is cool to see with social media what like people's jobs are. Like some things like I used to watch sometimes the one where they smush things and it's like, "Oh, that guy's job is to smush things." That's cool. Like there's things that I don't know about. Well, there's a lot I don't know about, but like I like learning other people's jobs. Did
You
you
just
ever
like
have another
seeing
job?
me? No.
Yeah, other than
I'm
stand
trying
up?
to get like writing gigs here and there, but it's like learning through YouTube video or through like I'm reading a book called Save the Cat, which just teaches
Mhm.
you how to write scripts. And I've written a bunch of scripts, but it's like if you're not getting any kind of like, oh, who am I going to pitch this to? Then it feels like, all right, what am I writing this for? Yeah,
Fair. Fair. One
yeah.
time I don't really write anymore, but I used to write a bunch of shorts, and I did a little bit of Funny or Die stuff. And
Oh, that's
I
right.
wrote one time a sketch for a specific person, and it was a series, and it got picked up. But then that person went a little bit nutty, and so then I learned never to write for a specific person. That was
I
the
mean,
only lesson I learned.
it was a good experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I learned a lot, but I was like, "Oh, I will never write for somebody specifically. I will write like for the idea of that character, like using that person as a character, but it was them playing themselves. So it was like
Oh,
it
okay.
was weird. Yeah, I was like, okay, don't
Okay, and I like how
if it's
we have
riding
to
on
always do the
somebody,
thing to protect ourselves. We're like somebody
you can
that
Google it, you can figure it out. You know,
okay, definitely think I want. I want to put Kim McVicker,
porn
Funny or
star. There you go.
Die.
It'll look up that. It'll pop up. That was your biggest hint, porn star. They'll give a
Okay,
little homework for the audience, which is nice. I think.
yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you get into stand up?
I was in culinary school in 2007,
Cool.
and in the like just doing culinary school, like all the students, all like my classmates, they would randomly here and there, they would hint to like, "Oh, you're funny, you should try stand up." Yeah, and they were like, it felt like a joke, but they were like, "No, no, you should really try stand up." And I didn't try it until like 2010. It took me like 3 years of writing and the curve. I think you froze.
Oh,
There
I
you go.
go ahead. Yeah, I froze it. Went
Yeah,
lost connection, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is new." So
yeah.
you
And
were
I
in
was like, I just
culinary
saw. Oh,
school,
yeah,
and you were funny, and then they said, and you waited 3 years.
yeah. It was because I've been in culinary school wasn't even like my first choice. Like, I was never a school guy, and from the age of 18 to about whew, 33, I was
Hmm.
a notorious gambling addict, and
Cool. Sorry, I mean
yeah, I
it's so
guess
bad.
it was pretty bad, but it
So
was like
cool
not
though.
like a
What was your gambling of choice?
oh like scummy casinos. I would go to play blackjack and Texas Hold'em.
But isn't blackjack like your odds are the best there?
I guess I don't think so. I
Okay.
it's especially if you just want action, just
Mm,
action. Like my buddies would call me Action Saul because I would like not stop. I would bet everything. I would play hands I shouldn't be playing just because I wanted to be in the game.
fair.
So, so like every check, every amount of winning, I would lose it all. So I'd win a whole bunch. I'd win like $3,000, $4,000, and then that $3,000, $4,000 would be gone that day or maybe within a week.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So it
that's
was pretty
impressive.
bad.
Yeah.
But I was so in my gambling addiction, I was at, I mean, I had to go to college. So I went to like a community college where, in Stockton, California, where I'm from. And one year I had gambled away all of my college unit money, like yeah, it was like $2,000 or something like that. It was just
Well,
something stupid
college
to
is
buy
not that
books.
cheap anymore. Oh, I wish.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to tell my family that I gambled away all my school money. So instead, I was like, oh guys, I'm changing professions. I'm gonna be a chef now. So then I signed up for this trade school, Le Cordon Bleu Sacramento, which is like it was in I just saw a commercial of it during the day. It
Sounds
was back to
fancy.
back this and then a Wyotech commercial for mechanics. So I was like, I'm gonna go to culinary school, and I went to culinary school instead of. So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna be a chef now.
That's cool. Would you ever do like a comedy and cooking thing?
I would love to, but it's something that I consider to be like I use it as a my way of relaxing and
Mm.
decompressing from everything else. Like I cook every almost every single day,
Wow.
and I look forward to it. I fall asleep thinking like, oh, what am I gonna cook tomorrow? And it's so funny because it's just me and my wife.
That's
That's all it
yeah,
is.
I never cook. I don't. That's not my jam. But there are so many comics who cook. They're like that are like in the cooking business. It's so interesting. Or started
They,
out as cooks. Cat
they kind
Berg
of go hand in
was
hand,
in
no?
that. Yep. There's a bunch.
Yeah, I feel like you're on the road and you can't just eat garbage the whole time. So you end up falling in love with like chefs or specific restaurants in particular markets and uh and maybe even learning to cook for yourself. Like I know a bunch of different comics who are like, I'm not like an authentic guy. Like I have to go buy these specific ingredients to go. I'm just like, well, I'll use whatever I have around the house because that's how I was taught. Um,
But that's the
but
best
yeah,
food too, usually.
what's up?
I think that's the best food.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
just yeah, it's just I don't know. But yeah, I want to, but I don't know if I have the courage to do that yet. I'm really just trying to write, but do I want to buy a camera and then just start like a whole cooking channel? A little bit. A little piece of me does.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
should be like, let's see what we got in the fridge and decide what we are gonna make with these four things.
Yes, that would be so much fun. That would be right up my alley.
And that would be helpful to people like me who are like, do I throw it all out or what do I do with this? Like my favorite, I'm really not that great of a cook, but the only thing that I will make is like rice and canned garbanzo beans. And then I put them together and I throw in garlic. And I'm like, that's it. I love it. I'd
Ca-
eat
Is
bowls of that.
how do you prepare that? You just like steam you like
I
season
put
it
rice
or
in a rice cooker, so I do zero work there. I walk away.
hmm
I take the can of garbanzo beans, I pour it in a bowl, I put that in the microwave. I walk away and then I put them together. And then I'm like, ta da! I did something. It's the equivalent
That's
to
so
making
great.
cereal, but hot. Yeah.
Okay. Are you is this just are you vegan? Or are you vegetarian? Is
No,
that
I'm just lazy. I love like steak and stuff. I just don't know how to do it. So
okay, that's
my
such a
diet is
random dish.
purely out of the inability to do anything.
Garbanzo beans are a good source of protein, I think.
They're just yummy. I love them. I found a
Yeah, I
lot of
think they're great
food
too.
later in life that I wasn't like I was never my mom never let me have Brussels sprouts or garbanzo beans and like all this stuff that I'm like, "Wait, these are very good." You
Never
know?
let you have like
No, because
two
she didn't like them. She would be like, "Oh, I would have let you." No, because she didn't buy them, and we didn't have control over the grocery shopping as kids.
oh, so you discovered stuff later in life as opposed to like I just such a funny thing. You're not allowed to have Brussels sprouts.
All I ate for years was a bagel and cream cheese for lunch every day, and then like Chef Boyardee for dinner. Like it was always, yeah.
So this incapability of cooking was something that's been passed down by your pet by your mom.
But yeah, she was a working mom. She knows how to cook. She
Makes
just was
sense.
busy. She was living to that '80s life, that
What
'80s
was the
'90s
favorite thing that she has ever cooked for you?
goulash, hands down. That's my favorite. Which I don't know if it's like actual goulash because from my understanding is that's supposed to be leftovers. But like I like it when she just makes it, which is like pasta, canned tomato soup, and then ground beef.
Sounds like spaghetti or like
It kind of is.
marinara.
Yeah, but it's like instead of that sauce, it's tomato soup, and then it goes in the oven, not on top of the stove.
Oh, okay. And the pasta isn't it like a specific type of like spätzle or something?
I don't know what a spätzle is. What shape is that?
They're like tiny little teardrop.
I think it can be anything. They
I
make
don't.
teardrop pasta.
Yeah, so
I
like you
love
get
the
like a
idea of like gangster
the
pasta.
German food. So like
Oh,
they put it through like a little strainer and they come out like little they look little rice teardrop pastas.
that's really funny. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Yeah,
street cred
goulash.
pasta. You're like, what? Yeah, that's
Okay.
fun. What's your favorite thing
S
your mom made?
soups. So like chicken soup, but like a Mexican style chicken soup, which always gets like all my friends kind of like trash because they're like, how come they don't like take the bones out? They just like it's just like a leg, like a chicken leg inside of a bowl of soup. But
Uh-huh.
it's like I don't
But
know.
then
That's
you
what
get
I
to
grew
like
up
eat
eating.
it, right?
Yeah, you just take it, eat it, and then you put throw the bones away, or like I don't. I'm not a big. My dad would eat it like how people eat chicken wings and they eat like the ends
Hmm.
to like all the cartilagey part. That's just gross. I'm not a big fan of that.
That's fair.
Do you
I
like
don't,
that?
I don't think I've ever had it.
So like you when you're eating a chicken wing,
I
like do
never eat
you?
chicken wings.
Oh, you don't
No, I don't really like them. I eat steak and I eat chicken, but like
chicken breast.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's like or it's shredded, and I didn't yeah.
Okay, but you don't like to see the bones.
I don't care if I see it. I just don't wanna work for it. I'm so lazy. I don't wanna, like, have to do anything. Does that make sense? It should just
You just
go
want to prep.
fork, eat, let's go. Like, the soup sounds delicious. I know don't mind the bone as, like, a stirring thing. It's not upsetting to me. I just don't wanna have to do anything. That's all.
You just you just don't want to have to eat the meat away from the bone.
Yeah, because 'cause I'm just gonna make a mess.
Yeah, I mean, eating's. I mean, I'm gonna make a mess regardless. My wife calls me the messiest eater that's ever been, and the fastest eater. She always teases me about that because it's
Do you
we're
eat
the
like
most
you're in
stereo.
prison where you're like that?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. My
cool.
father used to tease me like, "Hey, no one's gonna take that from you." It's like you don't know. You don't know. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But so we'll be at a dinner, me and my wife, and by the time she's 4 bites in, I'm done. We're ready to go. Let's get out of here.
Pay
We're
the
that
bill.
couple.
Well, I bet you the servers love you
Oh, yeah,
because
definitely,
they can turn around
definitely.
that table real fast.
Yeah, but it's not good if you're in a romantic dinner with your wife. They're just like, I thought we were like gonna enjoy the ambiance. We're hanging out, we're having some drinks, we're eating, and I'm like, nope, fucking vacuum, spit out the bones, Garfield style. We're good.
That's fun. What's your favorite restaurant in LA?
Oh man, I can't believe I didn't know you're gonna hit me with such
I
hard hitting
wasn't going to.
questions.
I didn't. I told you there's no plans.
Oh man, whew. I would say right now my favorite restaurant is in LA is a sushi place that I rarely go to. It's called Here Fishy Fishy.
Okay.
It's in Koreatown. It is a sushi buffet, but it's not like your average run of the mill sushi buffet where it's like trash, low grade. It is high grade sushi where I get nothing but sashimi, nothing but like the fish, and it's $50. But it's like some of the best sushi you've ever had in your life for a flat rate.
That's great.
Yeah, usually go with comics. I
That's
don't really
cool.
take my wife because she can't really eat as much, but I go with comics and we'll just like I go with comedian Steve Fury and he has a list. He's pretty autistic, so he has like a list of stuff that he wants, and he'll go, let's run this, and I'm like, whatever he said, let's go with that.
Oh, so you get to order, and I like somebody who knows what they want when they go to a restaurant. That's good.
I sort of I trust usually trust I'll trust the server, I'll trust the chef. Any recommendation, I go in, I have such trust in people, and most of the time I'm not a very picky guy, but the only thing I'm picky on is heat. That's what my wife teases me on. Like the soup comes out like lukewarm. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Coffee lukewarm? What is this
You
shit?
want it hot.
It's supposed to be hot. Like that was honestly something my mother taught me, but my mother's a send it back lady. I'm not sending anything back.
I'm afraid if you send it back, they'll spit in it.
Yeah, that's my number one fear. My mother doesn't care. She'll if a soup comes out like lukewarm, she'll go run it back in the microwave. We'll go heat this up till it's lava hot.
Oh my goodness, that's fun. I
I
like
don't
that.
I don't
Were
do
you
that. I
born
just
and
eat a.
raised here in
No, I was
California?
born and raised in Northern California. It's about 5 hours north. It's in like it's where all the food is grown in California.
Like
My
where,
dad was a
Fresno or
cherry
past
picker.
Fresno?
It's past Fresno. It's about
Okay.
2 hours north of Fresno.
Okay.
It continues. It's like right by Sacramento.
Okay.
It's like pretty close. It's a neighboring city. Say I grew up with a family of like migrant workers, and that was my dad. And then my mother worked for Bank of America, just a typical. She was first generation.
That's cool though. Bank of America. I don't know. That's
Most
so
blue
cool.
collar people that's ever
Like a
been.
teller, somebody who
Yeah, like a
controls.
teller, and then she also worked for the dual vocational institution, which is a medium security was a medium security prison.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah,
fun.
she just worked for the what's it called? Medical records. She's just like gave nurses like a medical record for like an inmate. And she would
Have you ever
always
been
have
to prison or
interesting
anything like
stories.
that?
Hmm?
Have you ever been to prison?
No. However, I've not I think I the most I've been to prison is visiting her to go drop off lunch.
Oh, that's nice. It's so different. My brother was in prison for a long time, and
What did he do?
he didn't do it,
Oh, okay.
but
That's
he got in
crazy.
trouble. Yeah, he got
Oh no.
extradited. What a fun story. For
Oh
six or
no.
7 years. He's out now. He's having a great time.
That's
And
great.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, like, visiting somebody in a medium maximum prison, it's so different. And, like, he was in a lot of different ones because when you're there for a long time, they kinda move you around. The first time I
Mhm.
ever went, it was, like, this small town, and I flew, like, however many hours and drove 2 because it was in the middle of nowhere, and there was only 1 hotel that was, like, super sketchy nearby, that it was like a motel, but, like, blood on the walls kind of motel where you're like, "Okay, I'm not safe." I was in my 20s, like, a chick
The
by
sign
herself,
says
just like,
motel, but, like,
"Do
the O
not
is out?
sleep." Yeah, 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 just don't
Yeah.
sleep, like, stay safe. And then I would hang out with him all day, and the guard there would be like, "Why do you visit him?" And I'd be like, "'Cause he's my brother." And he'd be like, "I wouldn't visit my brother if he did a crime." And I was like, "Well, you're an asshole." Like, what a weird it was just always so weird to see somebody get mad that you're, like, being a human to another human.
Well,
Like, the guard
especially
would always make fun of me for seeing my brother, and I'd be like, "What? Why are you such a dick?"
yeah. Plus, he probably, I mean, he's a guard. He's their enemy. You know, he's
Mhm.
like their babysitter slash enemy. And I actually worked at outside of my mother, where my mother's prison was. I worked at a snack bar outside. So
Mhm.
we would, I would cook like omelets for the COs there all the time. And every now and then, one of the psychologists from the prison, he would like talk shit about the corrections officers. Like some of those guys, they need to be in prison themselves, just based on how they are, like their psychological evaluations on how they are.
Yeah, my brother would say that the guards that you meet as somebody visiting, those are the nice ones. They don't put those ones outside. The mean ones are on the inside.
Yeah, that
Like, they
that
don't
makes
let
sense.
those ones see the regular public. Yeah,
Maybe you should flip it. We should have the nice ones deal with the inmates,
for
and
sure.
then like the mean ones should be outside.
Well, and I'm sure there's some inmates who need, it all depends on everybody because a lot of mental illness ends up in there too. So it's a little bit of everything. And like just stupid people end up in prison a lot too. So like they don't know how to handle things sometimes. You know what I mean? Like they don't
Yeah,
have the like, I don't know the right word for that, but like the whatever that thing is that like street smart or like whatever that thing is to like know how to calm yourself down if you're in a bad situation or whatever.
got you.
Yeah. But I have seen some fun things. Like one time I went to visit my brother and I like going early. I love sitting in the lobby of, prisons, like, where people are getting checked in, because
Hmm.
it's, like, such good people watching, and, this one time, these 2 chicks signed in for the same guy, and they were both dating him and didn't know about the other, and you have to go in at the same time, and this was back when it was glass and a phone, so it was like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna go in when they go in because I wanna watch them yell at this guy for like can you imagine being in prison and then the 2 chicks come to see you on the same day and you're like, "Ugh." Like, what a nightmare.
I mean, you're behind glass. At that point, you're like, "Hey,
He's
meet this
safe,
per."
it's just really
Yeah,
funny, like, that's a lot of you have to be so good. Like, for someone
that's
to
a lot
wanna
of game.
see you, like, that's a lot of game in my mind. He had to have been really good to them in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, pen pals come in any shape or form, and you don't know how they are mentally or how, it's mean to say, but like desperate they are.
Yeah,
There's this
or
little sense of desperation if you're, I mean, you're writing letters to a caged bird, essentially. You like, there's plenty of free ones.
but
I
they
don't know.
have to listen to you. Like, I used to write my jokes when my brother got to prison, it was kinda when I first started doing stand-up, and,
Hmm.
that was I would send him my jokes, and then, like, 40 other dudes would write me a tag. Like, and it'd be, like, just, like, this collaboration of inmates, and, like, sometimes I would do sets, and they would you get, like, a call from prison, and it'll be like, "This is a prepaid call from an inmate," and I would just tell the audience, I'd be like, "Oh, my brother wants to hear it with his friends. I'm just gonna put this on the stool, but this is my brother in prison." And I would just have him listen with his friends to my set for whatever long length they could, and then we'd talk about it later. It was a lot of
That,
fun for me. I mean, prison's bad, but I enjoyed it.
yeah, you got some sort of runoff street cred because of your brother.
It was just fun. It was just like it was like cool. All the guys were so nice to me.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd like to.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I don't know. Trust how some of these guys are though.
I don't know either. But I'm good now.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good now. Your
I'm
brother's
safe.
out now though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's out now, and
That's
he's
great.
very happy, and he has a
What does
great
he
job.
do now?
He is in the entertainment business. He is, I guess it's called a teamster, but that sounds like a gangster. He's a person who is behind the camera.
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I think
like a
I knew
safety
exactly what
guy.
you were talking about when you said Teamster. I was like, he's like in the union or some shit like that,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
which is pretty a pretty good thing to be behind.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do the crime, so there's that. So it's not even like he's not a bad guy. It's just a bad situation.
Did he end up suing the state or whatever?
No, we got him out early. We appealed like 1,000, like a lot. He ended up with like 22 years originally, and we got him out in 6.5 or 7.
Jesus Christ! But still, having to even do those 6.5 to 7 is
Yeah.
fuck that shit. Especially when you
Yeah.
didn't do it. Ugh.
I mean, the crime was done. It's not like the crime wasn't done. It's just they lumped everybody together and didn't separate the cases.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it
that's
was
cool.
money crime. Like, still, like a company stole a lot of money, and he worked at the company.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, no, I've never been to prison. I've never been to jail. I've never. No, I was like, there have probably been pockets of situations where I probably should have gone to jail, but I've never gotten caught.
Hopefully forever.
Hopefully forever. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because
yeah.
California is the scariest prisons, I think, from what I hear. I've never been to a California one, but I heard they're really bad.
San Quentin is a pretty bad one in Northern California. There's a Folsom State, and they're all in songs. So
Mm,
if you're a prison that's in a song, I mean, it's probably pretty bad.
yeah.
Even where my mother worked, dual vocational institution. That's where the Mexican mafia was formed.
Was formed there? Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dang.
So, but it's not a. It's not. I mean, prison eventually lose funding because like it was a private prison, which I think is pretty fucked up.
I think they're
Uh,
all businesses. Like, I don't think there's
yeah.
any public prisons, or maybe there are. I genuinely don't know.
Well, it's which I'm completely against. It's like let this be a public system. Don't like because then you just have to have a quota of people that come in, and then you're just making money off keeping this person in a cage, which is fucking
Or
fucked up.
lessening the food quality so that it's cheaper, or, testing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like
Yeah,
cheap labor. A lot of times, like stuff that says made in America sometimes is made from inmates because they get like 11 cents an hour.
I think like the plan for like because I guess fruit is really expensive is to get prison labor to go pick all the fruit, which I don't think is a great idea
I don't
because
know if they get to eat it. They don't really get that much fruit in prison, and being outside might be nice. I'm just comparing it to what are their other options inside. Once you're
yeah,
in, you're
once you're in, you
in.
probably don't even want to work. You probably just want to fucking serve your sentence and not do anything and maybe join a gang.
It makes your time fly by though if you have a job.
That's true.
And
That's
then you
true.
get
And you're getting paid.
commissary, which helps you, keep fights away because you can be like, I'll trade you this
I,
mackerel for a stamp or whatever.
yeah, I used to live at this on this farmhouse like before I moved to LA in like 2018,
Mm.
2017, of a farmer who farmed at a prison. So like comic, I mean, like so he was a comic, but he would farm. He would be it was a dairy, so they would have prisoners work on the dairy, and he would consistently bring home prison milk, which is just like milk that they gave out to the prisoners. It's pretty good, but it
Okay.
literally says
Prison milk.
California Department of Corrections milk.
Do you think they ever put missing kids on those? No, right? So messed up. Have you seen this kid? Do you know where this kid is?
Like, I know one of you knows where this kid is.
Yeah, it'd be the
So
easiest.
it just be cartons of state of California fucking prison milk. It was pretty. I mean, it's just milk,
Yeah,
but it
it's
was still
just
pretty
branded for inmates.
milk that was milked by prisoners. So it was kind of weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
That's cool.
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any crimes that I probably have done. No,
No, don't
no,
tell
there's
me on the internet.
doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Doesn't
Like,
matter to me. I
don't
don't give
go,
a shit.
don't get in trouble. Save
No,
yourself.
I don't think I'll get in trouble because the most thing I'll get in trouble is not paying my bills, and then the statute of limitation goes on, and then I don't have to pay those anymore.
Did you start stand up in Northern California and then come down to LA? Like
Yeah, I
already a
started in
comic?
Sacramento in
Okay.
2010.
Okay.
Started in 2010 at this place called Laughs Unlimited,
Hmm.
which is like considered my home club, but not really. I consider the Comedy Store to be my home club more than anything. But yeah, I started it, and it was fun. It was great. I would never change the. I can't see how people start in LA. Some
I
people start
did.
here.
And it's like, whoa, why?
How
Yeah.
are you getting the stage time to get better? Is my question.
I was already I was a professional dancer when I got into comedy, so I was already touring as a dancer. So I would hit the open mic circuit out of town as well. But I
Hmm.
technically lived in LA when I started stand up.
Oof.
Yeah,
How?
I don't recommend it,
No.
but I was already here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing like 5 to 7 mics, maybe include a show a week, which was not a lot, but especially since I lived an hour away from all the bigger cities. So, but yeah, I don't see how you'd be able to do it because it's just comics at these now. I don't know how it was back then,
Well,
but now.
back when I started out here, it was still real audience in the because there was like iOS was around, so it was like more improv. Like you know how the
Hmm.
Hollywood Improv has that mic, but sometimes it used to have real people at the iOS one, and like all the clubs had one like every night. So there was opportunities for real shows.
A
Um,
decent amount of stage time, I take it.
yeah, but all like 5 minute sets. It used to also be 5 minute sets, not three.
When did that 3 minute set start to?
I don't remember. And I think three is fair. I'm not the biggest fan of the 2 minute ones.
I mean, both are still pretty crazy.
I
Cause
can't do well in 3 minutes. It's like hard. It's so hard.
you have to think of 2 bits, maybe one bit,
I
long
get
bit that
one.
you
I
hope.
get one bit in. I never like any mic. If I still like any mic I go to, I'm like I'm gonna do one joke.
Okay. I have to like. I mean, I might be able to get away with 2 to 3, so it's just a bit a minute. But they have to be jam packed with punchlines, or else. Oh man, what I don't like is the open mic scene here seems to be um like what kills is like the localized, like doing a joke about the open mic or doing a joke about comics, and you're not really doing real material. You're just like, I don't know. Like I remember at the improv lab when I first started, it was like the people that really killed were like shitting on other comics, but it was like inside joke type shit, and that would crush more than like an actual thought you had, which was weird.
But it's not gonna help you become a comic.
Mm-mm, it
It's not gonna
won't.
help you on the road. And I think a lot of men specifically in open mic scene don't realize that most stand up shows are a date night. So
Yeah,
most of them have their girl or their wife or their partner or whatever sex it is, but most of the time there's one person checking in with another person to be like, "Do you think this is funny? Because I want to get laid." Like there's always somebody on one side
yeah.
thinking that. So like if you offend somebody, it's always like it better be really fucking funny. Like you can offend people, but it has to be really funny.
The juice better be worth the squeeze. Yeah. And that's actually in the advertising too. I found that out later on in, like when I try to put like an ad up for a show, I
Mhm.
would put in the little meta ads, I'd have to put date night or because I would just put stand up comedy like what the
Well, that's
algorithm
helpful.
wants. No, now you got to put date night or maybe night out or maybe entertainment because that'll tell the algorithm anybody who's looking to do have a date night, stand up comedy as an option.
That's smart. I never thought about that. That's a good hack.
Some marketing person told me about that. Like you can't just put stand up comedy in because then it'll advertise to other comics who don't want to go to your show.
That's
You're like,
so smart.
oh fuck, I didn't even think about that. But
Yeah,
you,
that's
yeah, it's
How
date
did you
night
make the
because they,
jump from open mic to like, I mean, late night? You've done everything now. Yeah.
uh the jump to like I guess open micer to comic.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was blessed in not starting in Los Angeles, so I got too much time too early. So there was a lot of back home, a lot of 10-minute sets that I wasn't ready for. It's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff that you're not ready for that you have to force yourself to be ready for. And then from there, you just start to build the hour. And then how I got late night. I mean, I had submitted to be on the late show 2 years ago. Remember the last email we sent was in 2022.
When you say
It was
we, your manager, or you did this
my
yourself?
manager.
Okay.
I would
Because I
say
was
my
gonna be like, this
manager
is
because my
way more
manager's
impressive if you did this yourself.
fuck no. Like I had we submitted and then we heard nothing back and then I just thought I didn't get it and little did I know that my manager has sent 18 emails in 2 years.
Okay, good
Uh,
manager. Get it.
right over. Hey, don't forget about Saul. Here's a set. Hey, don't forget. And then by the 18th email, they're like, fine, here. I don't know if it's like leave us alone. You've been harassing us, but
Who cares?
who gives a shit?
You did great.
Yeah. So it was yeah. So even the set that was done there, I was like, I don't even do it in my. That's not my LA. I don't know my in my LA 15 anymore. have your 15 minutes in
Because
LA
it
when you
has
do
to
a
be
spot.
clean too, right?
Yeah, and a little fun fact about the booker on the Late Show is that he books everything. He doesn't just book the booker for the Tonight Show books just stand up. He just books just comics. The booker for the Late Show also books musical acts, books sports acts, books all these acts. So he's not as he doesn't really pick apart your set as much, as opposed to the Tonight Show. He's picking apart your set. Like he wants do this, do this. He really incorporates himself into your set, as opposed to the Late Show guy. He's like, that's great. Cut this out. We're done. So I
That's
really
good.
didn't have to modify anything for TV. I just like cleaned it up. Didn't really hear back, getting any really intricate notes that I felt like I would have got from the Tonight Show, which is fine. But that's the difference in Booker. Like one guy just books stand up and he's gonna like pick it apart, and the other person books everything, and he's just like, "That's great. Let's keep it
How do you
moving."
figure out what your 5 would be for that?
Uh, it took 4 different versions of my set, so that was like the fourth iteration of what I wanted to submit, and it was just like, what do I have that's clean? Because I'm a dirty comic. You're
Yeah,
like, what
no,
do I
that's
have?
I'm always just like I do nights where I go, I'm not gonna curse tonight, and that's my goal. And then I'll get off stage and I'll be like, I didn't curse, and then I'll hit my voice thing and I'll be like, I said fuck in the first 2 seconds, but it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah, yeah.
register as a bad word to me because I
Don't say
wasn't
fuck.
saying it angry. Like it was just
It's a
like
button that
it,
you
it's just a
press on
bar mic,
accident.
you know what I
Don't say
mean?
fuck. Don't
Yeah.
say fuck. Don't say fuck. And then you said fuck like the first 2 seconds, like you said.
Hmm.
I didn't force it. I felt like I chose the jokes. How I did it was I chose the jokes that I felt were gonna work for late night. I did them organically, and then for the first year, when I was submitting, I did them organically, and then I'm ready to tape. Then I started practicing on how I could clean the joke up, and then I polished them. So it's like, do you do a clean version of you, polish that up. So it's
All right.
different. It goes through the washing machine a whole bunch.
That's good. That's good advice for people out there who want to do it.
Yeah, because you
So,
can't just, all right, I have to force because if you force it, it's just gonna come off like weird. It'll come off like not you. But if you put it through a bunch of like, if you keep, I mean, plugging away and because you're still organically you, you know,
mhm, yeah,
even if it's clean,
yeah. But it
you
also
just
is
gotta
that
pretend
whole
like
don't
you're
shit on
talking.
the room thing too for all the open micers who listen to like it's both.
Yeah, well, that's some like on the road type shit. You can shit on the room all you want, but if you're fucking late night, they want to hear your perspective. They don't want you to riff off of anything.
You can't do crowd work with the audience like super far away.
That's very funny. So this guy's hat is weird. It's like, no, what hat? They're not gonna.
Yeah,
There's no camera that goes back to that guy's hat.
yeah, that would be really
Yeah,
funny.
it'd be
I'm
hilarious.
I would enjoy somebody who only did crowd work having to be like, let's talk about this guy behind the camera. Like just make it really awkward and uncomfortable.
I've seen somebody do that for something important. Like last year, I had an SNL, like the one in LA, an SNL audition where it was me, Brandy Denise. She's another comic. We were the only comics, and there was another TikTok comic who like just did crowd work. So we were the three comics on. Brandy did her set, I did my set. We did well, and then the rest were improvers. And then the TikTok comedian went up, and he started doing crowd work for his SNL audition. We were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It was a wild thing to see. I've never seen anyone pretty much fucking audition up just by like, well, it's all he knew. It's all he knew how to do was
Because
crowd work.
that's what
So
they booked him off of too. His manager or somebody might have said, "Do what they want you like. Do what got you in the door." Somebody might have given him bad advice.
yeah, terrible advice. It's like,
Yeah,
no, have a five that's ready for because they want to see what you are like. They want to see how you're gonna work on the show. Unless you're just gonna do crowd work. You're not gonna do crowd work on SNL. That's weird.
yeah. I've never. That'd be amazing. Also, something I would love to see. Just like a weird.
You've got to be a phenomenal crowd work comedian
But
to do
also,
that
there's
shit.
no like you don't see the crowd. That's the
Mm-mm.
point. So it'd have to be like hey you fuck at the home sitting down watching me right now. Like and you're just like I
Dude,
want
crowd work
it
on
to
a
feel like to the person watching the show would be hilarious to me.
so funny.
I don't know how you would do it though, but
Mm-mm.
like
I
everyone's
think that's
sitting.
about to die off though. Maybe
Oh yeah,
the
I think it's swinging hard. People really went on a hard crowd work thing, and I've been to so many shows now where like you can tell they either want it or they don't want it. Like it's one way
Mhm.
or the other. And then like I did a show in Canada where all the comics talk to the same people. And this is another thing that drives me nuts is when people don't watch the person before you. I get
Oh,
it. If
yeah.
you're in LA and you're jumping from show to show, there are times where you can't. But if you have the opportunity to, just watch the person in front of you because it will give you something. But like they literally not a single person watched anybody, and they all asked the same people the same questions, and it was so annoying. And I was headlining, so I came out at the end and was just like, "I'm not talking to any of you," and I went down the line and explained everything I already knew about every single audience member. And I
Yeah.
basically got an applause break for the anti crowd work, which I was like, okay, people are over crowd work right now.
Oh, man. And then they're the one because the TikTok generation did change the audience
Hmm.
member. There are people that have never been to a comedy show before, and all they know is like, "Oh, this is an interactive show, right? Like this is, I'm a part of the show as well." Which the most annoying crowds are that the most like pick on me. It's like, no, fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
not here to pick on you. I don't want you to be a part of the show more than anything. I'm only doing crowd work because I have to do crowd work, whether you guys, the audience is tight or like maybe to lead into another joke. But I'm not just gonna, hey, what are you about? You pregnant? This is stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah, I don't mind doing crowd work, but I don't have a problem with not doing it either, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
those
But
commit.
I don't want an audience that wants crowd work. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? It's like a
It
weird,
does.
yeah, I don't
I'll
know.
never shit on a crowd on a comedian that knows how to do crowd work, but I will shit on a comic that forces it. Like that's like you're not good at it and you're still forcing it because I've seen that a lot because
Well, cuz they want
newer
a new
comics,
clip.
yeah,
That's what
or
it
like
is.
yeah, because I mean that's what it is. That's what sucks is that you do need that new clip. You do
I
need
never
people.
post my crowd work bits ever. Almost never. If I do, it's very rare cuz I'm always just like, nah, it's not clean because it's
You're
in the
missing
moment.
out on the
No,
followers though,
I need
dude.
to. I need to. I need to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can't
also,
be
how do
anti.
you feel about the camera on the audience?
I
I've asked
mean,
people this before. I know my
I
opinions.
guess here's the thing: if you're gonna do crowd work, I hate it for you need to do it. There needs to be crowd out because if you're especially they'll be like the viewer on the other side of the phone is like, well, who's he talking to? They want to see. You
But
got
they
to
can't
stop
just see
thinking
the
about
back of the
you.
head. It's not about me. To me, I think it's unsafe for the audience. Like I feel like
Oh,
if they don't know there's a camera on them, it's not fair. That's my
oh,
problem
okay.
with it. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're going to a taping or a special, and we'll definitely get into your special because it's out. There's a there's cameras there, so there's a chance as an audience member you're going to be on camera, right?
Hmm.
But I feel like if you're just going to a show, do you have to assume you're on camera? I guess you should assume now in anything. I guess it's fair. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's hard to. It's public. I'm assuming that I'm on camera everywhere I go now.
That gave me so
From
much anxiety.
yeah, we are though.
I'm so
We are.
scared.
I watch a lot of fucking a lot that comes up in my algorithm a whole bunch of like some guy just filming the street and they'll go, you know you're not allowed to film here. I'm like, but he is. He's legally allowed to film wherever he wants to film. Because if you don't realize there's security cameras on like on every other block. There's cops. You
We
remember
learned
the
that from
cops
the
didn't have
fires.
cameras? They have body cams now.
Mhm.
That's in my algorithm is cop body cam videos. It's like it's everything and everyone is a camera now.
Maybe I should just get a GoPro and put a
Hmm.
headband on, and it just says crowd work cam. It's just like, and then
That'd be funny if you were that comic.
at least the person would know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. None of it matters. As long as you're having fun, I think it's worth it.
True. I think that's true.
I love stand up for what it is. Like there are times where I've thought about quitting and then I'll be like to my husband like, "Should I?" And he'll be like, "What? Are you insane?" And he goes, "What would you do?" And I'd be like, "Well, I'd go to like an open mic for fun, but I wouldn't be like." And he was like, "That's not quitting. That's lowering the bar." I was like, "Okay, that's very fair too.
Yeah,
That's
you'd have
not
to quit.
quitting."
You'd have to
Not
quit or like not do it anymore.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I
I
could
hate
not do that.
hobbyists. I hate hobbyists. People that are taking up space at an open mic or taking up space at a show. It's like, I dabble. The fuck you, dabble. It's like leave room for the ones that really want to do it.
Yeah, there's just so many. I mean, the positive about online is that there's so many spots now and there's so many shows.
Mhm.
I feel
Mhm.
like there's a lot of shows in California now. A lot of
But
indie shows too.
there is a lot of shows, but there's way too many comics that are in the way of getting those shows.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
Like, and
people
there's a lot of
stop putting them on shows too. Like you can, or you don't think so?
no, I just here's the thing. We can, but a lot of these comics that aren't good at comedy are like have a lot of followers that'll
Mm.
put butts in seats. You're
You're
just
talking
like,
like TikTok people. Got it.
fuck, I gotta put the TikTok guy on. You have to. You have to. Like, I've produced shows where it's like, I gotta put this guy on, even though he's not great, but
But
because
do
I
you
know
find
that
that
he's
people
gonna.
who have a big online following actually get a good audience?
Some of them do.
Because it's not
Some of them
really,
don't.
because the online audience is not necessarily in your town. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because somebody has 100,000 followers doesn't mean they have 100,000 followers in the location of where the show is.
Yeah.
And
I love
or
the thing.
that they're all of 18 or 21, depending on the club.
Yeah. You know what 100,000 followers get you is 10 butts in seats. That's it.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You have to have like the people that I'm talking about have to have like 500, 400,000 followers, something like that. Because 100,000 followers ain't shit today.
I know.
It's like a
I'll get
one
there.
nighter, a one night headliner that'll probably fill the room in half
For
is a
sure.
hundred
That's
thousand
true.
followers.
That's 100. That's very fair.
Yeah.
That's very, very fair. How do you get your shows sold out when you travel? What is your
Ads,
fair?
ads, and like I gotta if I'm traveling, I gotta hope that one of my clips has gone viral, something like that. Because the internet and comedy today is what have you done lately, and by lately I mean within the past month. You know, you have to stay relevant. That's why you have to keep posting clips to hopefully one of them catches. And if one of them catches, all right, cool, I'm gonna go on the road because then you
Okay.
can live off of that clip.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, there have been times like where I've maybe had something go viral, and I know that I noticed a difference. Like I just went to Disneyland, right? And I had one person recognize me, but 3 years ago when I went to like Disneyland and I had something go like get 2, 3 million views, 9 people recognized me.
Right.
So it's like, what have you done recently? And we're talking about not within the last year, within the last couple of weeks.
For sure. No, no, I agree with that. Yeah, the attention span is really slow.
Yeah, people are dumb, and it's okay because their face is filled with content, and there's too much content, and that's what you're competing against. Too many comics, too much content.
That's true. That's very true.
Hmm.
And but let's talk about your special since people should go watch it. Um,
Yeah,
what's it called and where can they watch it?
it is called Yolanda, and it is on Apple TV. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on. You could really purchase it on almost any outlet. It's for purchase right now, and I'm pretty stoked about it. It should be on Sirius as well. Uh, but if most people have Amazon Prime, so really go get it on Amazon Prime.
And make sure that if you do get it, you like it or comment because that will also help
Yeah, that would be
the
very
engagement
helpful.
of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make sure you do all the things.
Engagement. Ugh, that's a word that is a yucky necessity.
I mean, it used to just mean like marriage, but now it's
No,
like,
now it means say I don't even care if it's bad. Say boo. Ah, why boo? Because then it's just engaging. It's feeding the algorithm.
yeah, as a woman, I hashtag, well, my last special was called Female Comedian for this reason. Because if I hashtag female comedian on YouTube, I get a bunch of trolls and then it's like, thank you. And then it usually helps the video.
They don't understand that. Like
No, they
even
really
saying
don't. I have no idea.
that, even if you say boo, like you're just helping me
Mhm.
with your negative comments. Social media, you're being social. So I don't like it if they skip it or they go not interested. They hit you the not interested button. That's where you've lost. But good engagement, bad. It's all good press or bad press. That's social media works that way.
Does it get to your heart though at all ever?
When
Like, do
somebody's
you ever
mean,
feel, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you ever feel it or you don't care? You genuinely, it all rolls off your back.
I don't smoke weed anymore. But back when I was smoking weed, like a lot of weed, I'd get all anxious and like, why did he say that? Oh my god! Like, and then I'd comment, and then I have to delete the comment. Like, why do you care?
I like to comment back sometimes. I get in moods. It depends because I think it's funny to me. But it depends on what they're commenting. Like I get a lot of your husband should leave you comments and
Oh, that's pretty nice.
those ones always make me laugh because I'm always like, yeah, he should. And then like I like have fun with like whatever it is in the
Yeah.
moment. Like I locked him up or something fun for me that I'm just like, this is crazy. Like
Oh, one
you don't think he heard the joke? Like you don't think it's not like I'm going out there and I'm not even that mean about him anyways, but whatever.
one of the greatest comments I'd ever gotten was, I think I posted a joke. It went okay viral. And then one of the comments was like, "You stole this from Ron White. This is a Ron White bit." And I was like, "What?" I looked up all the Ron White bits anxiously. I was like, this is not stolen." I messaged the guy, I commented back like, "How is this a Ron White bit? What are you talking about?" And then like nothing happened. And then a year later, the guy went back to that, commented like, "Hey man, I was drunk that day. I was going through a hard time. Sorry about that. It's not the same as the Ron White bit." I was like, people are just weird.
That's true because you never know where they're at. One time I did a show and they were live streaming it, which is not my fave, but they were. And someone in the comment section wrote that I stole the bit from someone who was on Kill Tony or whatever, like 5 years ago. It was me 5 years ago. Like I was like, that was not a stolen bit, and maybe look at the name because it's the same person.
I dare
Different
you
hair
steal from
color. It
yourself.
was a different hair color. But thanks for recognizing me without realizing it. Whatever. But I get like was so mad about it. I was like, because that I think is the one that would get me. If someone said you stole something, that would give me anxiety for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to, because you try to come off as original as possible, and then I'll catch myself like, "Oh no, that's a Louis C.K. bit, or that's a Jim Jeffries bit. What am I doing?" And then like I'll either, if I posted it, take it down, or if it's kind of on the same vein, like sometimes a joke, you'll have the same common thought process. Like
Right.
I have an
Sometimes it's
audiobook
not
bit right
stolen,
now.
it's just different. Yeah, it's just
Yes,
like it's the same news cycle, so everyone's doing their take on this. It happens to be the same take.
yes, 100%. I have an audiobook bit now that is apparently close to some podcast bit for Matt and Shane's secret podcast, and they're like, it's almost the same bit. I was like, I've never listened to that episode, and I'm not going to listen to it, so that way it doesn't affect me. I'm just gonna. This is my way of thinking. This is what I have written, and I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna listen to it to make the comparison because I know that I've come up with this organically. You know.
Yeah. If you could write for any, because you said you wanted to be a writer of other things as well, what would
Hmm.
be, just because we're on the internet, let's see what we can get you a job. Uh, dude, it works. It's happened before. What would be your dream like writing gig?
Oh, I think my dream writing gig would be, this is kind of weird, but I think you should leave
Okay.
the the Tim Robinson sketch. I love like SNL, maybe SNL, like a
You would
sketch
want to be a
writing.
writer or an actor on it.
Oh man, probably a writer.
Okay.
Probably a writer.
You
Yeah.
have to get back into drugs.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know if that's a fact. I just feel like they stay up so late.
Yeah. Yeah. Writer. Yeah, more than anything. I like I want to have that 9 to 5 of writing,
Mhm.
and then not necessarily touring, but I still have like I could write during the day, and then at night I'll go do stand up,
Yeah.
like work like locally, and like I don't have to necessarily tour the
Well,
country
New
doing
York
stand
and
up.
LA are perfect for that because the people come here. You don't go there. So if you did SNL, I mean, you just do the cellar or something like that, or the
Yeah,
stand, and it's
yeah.
like crazy easy because it's
I
always
would
a
be
new
so
audience.
content with that, and then maybe
Hmm.
do a tour every now and then. But I don't want to be that comic that tours all the time. That seems awful. Like somebody who tours year round because they have to tour. Like that sounds. I don't want that.
That's fair.
Do you want that?
No. If I tour, I like it. Like I like to fly there. I'd rather like not even make money on something and enjoy it, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I want to fly there. I want to have my own hotel room. I don't want to like share it with another comic, not to be rude. It's just like if I want to go to bed, I want to go to bed. If you don't,
yeah,
like all of those kinds of things. Whereas like there's other comics who do where they go with their friend and then they like share the room and all that. And I'm like, oh, I would even if it was my best friend, I'd be like, no,
yeah.
sorry, I am not doing that. Yeah,
Well, I just know that comics will go from like this is the big summer tour, and then the summer tour will be done. They're like, all right, now we're doing the big winter tour. Like you just got done touring.
yeah,
It's like, what are you doing? You're gonna and they just either do it because they're too afraid to be home, like they can't just live a normal life. All they know is touring, or they have to because they feel like I'm not relevant anymore. I don't if I stop, I won't be relevant anymore. I
There's
would
so
rather
much
just
anxiety in touring though, because like you have to fill the room, you have to fill the room, you have to fill the room versus like honestly, I really love featuring. That's like kind
yeah,
of like a 20, 30-minute spot is my I don't mind headlining. I really do like it, but like for me, a 30-minute spot is like perfect. Cuz
yeah.
then it's like I can do 30 minutes, no problem.
I
Cuz
like
I
being the
have an
guy.
hour. It's not like I can't do an hour. I have a few, but like 30 minutes is just like it takes by the time you're at 25 minutes, you're like, "Oh, oh, I just got okay." I'm okay. I
Yeah.
could, yeah.
I like being the guy, but I realistically, I just want to do one tour once a year. That way, you're done. Like, I'll see you guys next year. Not have to see a market twice a
Well, then you'd have
year
to have
just
all
to,
new bits too cuz it's the same people.
yeah, fuck that.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. A lot of fun.
Dude, we learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Uh, hey, everybody, go comment on everything. Where can everybody stalk you, follow you, and be creepers and give you comments to help your engagement?
Soul Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and soulcomedy.com. That'll have all my comedy dates. I want to say tour dates, but I don't really
After we
tour.
just shit on touring.
Yeah. I'm mostly in LA. I'm mostly in California, but I come out to New York every now and then. I'm definitely going to start coming out to Texas a lot more. These are markets that have been asking me to come, Arizona. But yeah, soulcomedy.com. That's where you'll find everything.
Sweet. Have a great day. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, guys.